guys. Welcome back to today. We're going to title this Ghostbusters. So join us on this investigation as we peel back the layers, as we go behind the veil and unpack the mystery, some of the mysteries that are being brought to our attention regarding this investigation and this program. Today we're going to tackle this the Ghostbusters, because one thing that has been brought to our attention is that we're revisiting an ancient past. We're reacquainting with ancient associates, friends. Could have been, we're going to ask these questions, but some of the information that is being brought forward is that this program is also based on a karmic contract. This is something that was brought to our attention, brought to our awareness by philosophically from the collective. So oftentimes we ask, who are the karmic? What are they? These individuals who are part of this program, because we understand that the program is divine in nature. So it is divine in nature because God presides over this program. God presides over it, because even your perpetrators, they can only do so much. They work within God's laws. Still, they adhere to God's laws. So this is an indication that this has to be a spiritual battle that is permitted across the universe to take place, in order to settle these old scores, in order to bring balance. God allows this to happen in order for balance, for the scales to be balanced. So He allows these shadow beings, these ghosts. That's right, these ghosts. They are a reflection of an ancient foe, you could almost say a residue. They also represent a part of the ego, because if you notice, more on that later as we go on. So what we're going to do, say hi to Brooklyn. More on that later. What we're going to do is we're going to use that as a starting point. Ask the questions, like who are they? See if the illustrations could also help us paint this sort of picture. And then we could add something to that. And then we can have dialogue around this. So bear with me one moment. We're just going to go to the cards. Credentials, Ghostbusters, from history, you hear so much about this you know, you hear so much about, moving through the gate, moving through the abyss, and when you're moving through the abyss, you encounter these individuals, these aspects of yourself. You encounter these aspects of yourself, and they come in many forms. They can turn up as your worst nightmare. That's right. They can turn up as your worst nightmare. So, in a way, this is for us to dispel these myths, and for us to move past these, for us to unpack these ghosts and lay them to rest, symbolically speaking. Kind of let them know that they. We're not here to harm them. We're not here to harm them because such is the way this program is operating. When you're inside the program, you're treated as the actual perpetrator. You're treated as you're the threat, you're their aggressor in a way, because if you notice, they call this gang stalking. This program, it's also known as gang stalking, or so when you ask yourself that name, what does it tell us? It tells us that there's a collection of people. It tells us about a collection of people who are working together in unison, who are working together. So this tells us that that you're treated to in a specific way, a very delicate and specific way. So this also now begins to reveal that there's a little bit more going on. There has to be more. So, who are they? Who are these individuals? We have strength, higher nature, lower nature, raising above, raising above. And also the lion is known as the king. So this signifies the importance. Oftentimes you're followed around by numerous individuals, numerous people, you're followed around by numerous people. In a way, you feel like, you could feel as if you're in a motorcade or a fleet of cars can be following you. Secret Service. That nature. So that speaks about royalty. That speaks about presidential. You're treated as, you're quite presidential in the way that they treat you. You're quite presidential. This is some of the mysteries behind the mysteries of this program. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to ask the cards, based on the history of our actual perpetrators, and what we mean the perpetrators, we would like to focus on those that are the immediate, because we understand this is a wider program, but we want to understand that those that have been specifically selected once the program went over, who are they? These are the questions, some of the questions we're going to be asking today. Who are these individual spirits? right off the bat, we have the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles. This speaks about, you may have been an important, a religious figure, a person of importance in the community. You would have been a person of importance in the community, and one of the things that explains, just to piggyback off what Philosophical said, if I don't go too much into it, because we'll just answer this first question, it looks like also, these are some people that you collaborated with in the past. She mentioned that these were your servants. These were part of your household. And now in this lifetime, they are, reversing the roles symbolically speaking. They're reversing the roles symbolically. So, this would illustrate that point also, because you're this pillar in the community, and you have a group of people, but so in other words, they have this, these individuals will have a connection to us. So this illustrates that point very well, because it shows that this is somebody that you have collaborated with. And this is a collaborating card. This is a collaborating card. And for others of you, you could be partnering up. You could be partnering up. You could be raising a venture, starting a venture. Bear with me one moment. Hold. Bear with me one. Okay. Following on. Okay. Just to add for others of you that this is the collaborative card. So you could have collaborations that are you could have this opportunity now where you're able to you're going to be able to demonstrate or utilize your craft, like you've now been you've been witnessed for your trade. So you're going to be able to practice your trade, apply your trade, collective. You're going to be applying your trade. So you'll be collaborating. So this is something that is extremely positive for you, collective. Now, also I'm going to go ask more questions. Who are they? There would have been somebody within that we've collaborated with. There would be somebody that would have collaborated with in this past life. In this past life, there is a past life connection. These are individuals who know us. They know us. We're known to we're known to them. Which is quite interesting. Following on, who are these individuals? Okay, in the past, they may have felt wounded by you. They may have felt hard done by. They may have felt marginalized. They may have felt, you perhaps, almost like, they will felt to, they may have felt, because this is the wound, this is the wounded card. This is, there's something that, that they have, now they want to express to release. There's something for us to release. So for collective, this is almost like a message to say, these are individuals who truly believe, and everyone, and they do, and they have that right, because this would have happened in their past life. The details. We're here to. This is about balancing the books. Essentially, this is about balancing the books, because these individuals, they, we're known as targets in this program. We're known as targets. So, in the past life, they all felt that they were the target. They felt like they were the one that was being persecuted, and in the great wisdom of God is now, having now witnessed how it feels to be the target. We're now going to be able to look at them in the eye and listen to what they have to say. If we were to have dialogue based on this treatment, in other words, we're also urged to, to forgive. This is a great opportunity for us to release this karmic contract. But also, this is also a great eye opener. It's a great eye opener from on behalf of the collective, to find out this information, because this is the healing that is needed. Because these individuals, they felt hard done by, and this is something that has been carried on from lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. And because you collective, you're in this final lifetime, you have to pay everything back. And this is, this is a revelation for us to understand about the program. Because now what we can understand is these individuals were once in our shoes, emotionally speaking. They were once in our shoes. So this, this is a. We can just do the reading just from these two cards. Because these two cards have revealed. These two cards have revealed so much that. These two cards have revealed so much that. You gain an awareness. You almost gain an awareness. Like, who are they? Because they all seem to know us. They all seem to know the targets, and then you wonder, like, who are they? And that question that has been raised by the collective, that question has now allowed us to have a closer look at the relationship, not just the person, but really the relationship. Because now we've asked, who are they? And then we've found out that, we collaborated with them in the past, and they felt wounded. They felt hard done by, maybe overworked, sleep deprivation. These are all things that your body contains. Your body contains all the memories, the past. All your memories are contained within your body, and in other words, this is something that they haven't forgotten. So this is something that is being exercised. They're exercising these demons, these ghosts from the past. We're exercising these ancient ghosts. We're exercising we're exercising ourselves. We're exercising ourselves by going through this. So this is an eye-opener, absolutely an eye-opener, because it makes us understand where this person is coming from. Where they're coming from. It makes us understand that, because they don't tell, this is something that hasn't been shared, but now we can understand that. We can empathize with them and say they felt as we feel. Now you understand why, in other words, this is something they have to do. This is something they have to do. This is something they have to do, and even though we're here at Broadcast, aiming to not only raise awareness, but also by raising awareness, keeping people safe, because people shouldn't really be in these programs. But also, what we're here to do is to send the message out to these individuals and say, now we understand, part of where you're coming from. The reason why I say that is because we understand where they're coming from. They accept, and we may even understand their execution, for lack of a better word. We may even understand their execution, because we are in the sign of philosophy, Sagittarius. Sagittarius speaks about long distance communication, and also this learning, and also we're able to understand that these individuals really feel, in order for them to move on spiritually, they have to exercise what happened. They have to exercise what happened, and we have to allow them to do that to a certain point. We have to allow them to do that to a certain point. In other words, if this is what we done to them, then they have the right to return to a certain point. But now we also ask that this karmic debt is paid off, and then once it's paid off, it's cleared. It's cleared. This is what we know. We let them know also that they have to, once it's cleared, it's cleared. We understand that they have to do, it's part of the universe. It's a universal law. It's a universal law. So we're really we've gone behind the veil of what is going on behind, the actual, we've gone into the cosmic, into the Akashic records, really. We've gone into the Akashic records and, got the book, got the information that says, that we have collaborated with these individuals, and, they are really just exercising their karma. So this is saying that this is our karma. This is our karma. So that's what they're exercising. But we also understand is that the karmic wheel has now turned. It has been completed. It has been completed. So this then now is going to lead us to having a form of a resolution. A resolution is needed. So we are pushing for a resolution, and also for these balances to be, these checks and balances to be met. These checks and balances to be met. But we understand now where these individuals, you know, we understand their point of view. Absolutely. One more card, spirit, one more card. Who are these individuals, and also what is a relationship between us? We understand that we collaborated with them. They felt hard done by. Could you let us know something? You know, also perhaps maybe let us know. We're gonna ask spirit to let us know. You know, something else about, you know, the relationship, you know, our relationship, you know, with the, you know, with the people that are involved in the program, So far, just to go through, we've collaborated with them. You know, we collaborated with them. They were part of the household, and they may have felt hard done by. And just something that is, you know, that has been brought to awareness. They may have felt hard done by spiritually. Because, you know, wands speak about, you know, the spirit. That speaks about the spirit. So they may have felt hard done by, you know, spiritually. So that is quite interesting. So we're gonna ask spirit to show us another card. One more card. We're going to look at another card to see. Okay, then now we have this royalty. So, you know, the Queen of Wands. You know, you are this royalty. So what this looks like is, say, for instance, you know, the relationship, they spoke about, that they worked in this royal household they worked in this royal household, you know, they were your servants, you know, so they may have felt, they may have felt like they were they were being, subjugated to a point, because, normally entire families will work for the royal family. Entire families will be involved in working for the family, and that most of these people that are involved happen to be related also. This is something that we're finding out, is they happen to be related. And so almost like this generational relationship has carried on throughout all the years, throughout all the different years and lives, and you've had to pay back. So you would have probably been this darker aspect royalty. You would have been this, this, they say this, that you would have been this, you would have, they felt hard done by you spiritually. So they believed that you were, using your arts, you were using the dark arts against them to marginalize them, overwork, you would have been, this is something that you would have, I can't, say that you would have, they feel that, because it's a reverse, it's like a trading of, it's a reversing of roles, if you will. So you were this royalty figure, but they believe that you were like this tyrant. So now they believe that you were this tyrant figure that use the arts. So now this is something that Spirit is confirming that this was, there was a spiritual connection in the kind of in their treatment. They were being treated, spiritually. Because also we have in this first card, we also have the religious figure there. So they believe that your order, your standing, was something that they used, something that you use against them, to as a form of abuse, that they, the wounded warrior, like they believe that you or something to do with work. Because I'm just trying to say, because normally you don't subjugate the people that work for you, but they feel that perhaps, thank you, Spirit. I think this is what basically, one of the things that they say is that they would have been a slave. They would have been a slave. So this speaks about the collaboration. It wasn't balanced. It wasn't balanced. So in this card, in this first card, this is known as a collaborating card. But in this card, this could be, the overworked, wounded, this could be the slave card, or the going up to the 9 and to the 10 one. So probably just got ahead of myself there slightly, but they feel that they were being overworked and being badly treated, and one of the ways that this could be is that they weren't being recognized. They were not being seen. They feel like they didn't exist, because as you can see in this illustration, it's like he's the only person that's the only person that's there, but you can see it's like there's somebody else who's there in the picture, but behind the scenes there's somebody else that has his attention, where the direction of the abuse is coming from. So this speaks about, also this speaks about that, being badly treated, and also not people not having any empathy towards them, not having any feelings, like your feelings are not being met. The feelings are not being met. It has that feel to this card. So because he could be looking at, he's looking at the treatment that he's receiving, and he really he feels really hard done by, and trauma is something that stores memory inside the body, including past life trauma, because you could have a traumatic event from a past life until this is, until this is brought up by acknowledging it. Normally it just stays that way. So this is a way for them to acknowledge, it's just the behind the scenes about this program, because this information is only being brought to our attention, just from today, kind of just to see a behind the scenes of how some of their motive, just understand their motive, and this will also actually have. They actually have a reason, that you can visualize, you can imagine it, because we're going through it, guys. We're on this receiving end, but this information is telling us that they felt that we done this to them. So it gives them a reason, and because we're in real time, so-called real, because we're in real time, now we're able to say, so they were us one time, or they felt that we done this to them, we treated them this way. So that's their reason for what they do. So this has a spiritual component to it, but it also has, them, exercising, their past life trauma. Is them exercising all the traumas of the past lives. Some people also call it, the people that are in the program, they call them being the ones that are having to carry the burdens of the family, the transgressions of the family. Throughout all the different lifetimes. Okay, we're going to get one more card, because we're going to get one more card from right away. Okay, just one more card, please, Spirit. Who are these individuals? What is our connections with our, with these four? Because these four, they represent, the karmic, the karmic relationship. Okay, so in the past, they felt that they had to defend themselves against, your collaborators, those people that you were against, your group, the group that you were involved in. So, they felt that they had to defend themselves. They felt that they had to defend themselves, and they felt that they had to defend themselves. Okay, guys. Okay, what we're going to do, that was just a pre-history, just to exercise these ghosts of these ancient past ghosts. It's for us to kind of, for us to understand. But once we've understood, now we also kind of pull the line and say, okay, we're now living in, we're now in this time, and what I mean is that this two wrongs don't make a right, basically. We're now in this time, so now we can have dialogue. Dialogue is needed in order for us to exercise, because you can exercise, trauma through forgiveness also. You can exercise it through that way. You don't have to, we have to end the trauma, the karmic connection, it has to be severed. We have to sever that karmic tie. It has to be mutual consent. One person, we're asking to sever this tie. We're asking to sever this tie. Maybe if mutual consent is the wrong word, we're asking to sever this tie by we're asking to sever this tie by acknowledging that, okay, we understand your perspective, and we're not calling you out. We understand it, but okay, we understand, but what we want to say is that it is wrong, and okay, if this is what we had done in the past, we now have the opportunity to right the wrong from the past with this dialogue. Okay, so now this also speaks about. So now this also, there's been a lot of spiritual connections here, because it's mostly been about the spiritual the wounded warrior and having to defend themselves. So in the past, they felt as if they had to defend themselves against you and your collaborators. They felt that they had to defend themselves, and this is the reason why these individuals are in this program, is for them to exercise what was done in the past. Okay, now following on from that, we're going to ask Spirit is what can how can the collective okay, we're gonna ask, what can the collective, what we're going to do is now we've understood that they have a motive, that behind the program there's a motive. So then that would mean that people will be selected. People will be selected, to appear that have, that we are connected to, through our, from our past lives, because this program is, it only happens to, it doesn't happen to, people don't experience this program. Not everyone experiences it. Only the target individuals are few. They're few. They call them, those that were selected, those that were outcasted by their families to a degree. But also, it's because they carry the burdens of their entire family on their. They carry the burdens of their entire family. They've been selected to carry the burdens of their family. So in this lifetime, that's why they experience all the different, the experiences, the hardships, or they experience so much in such a magnified way. They experience so much that it's an exceptional experience, really. Okay, we're going to change the deck, and then we're going to ask maybe ask a different question. We're going to change the deck and then see what Spirit want us to know from the Golden Tarot. We're going to go to the Golden Tarot, and then we're going to ask Spirit what they would like us to know. We're going to just ask a question what they want us to know, regarding the situation, and moving forward. Almost as in we're going to bring it up to date, up to speed. Because this was the ancient past. Now we're bringing it up to speed into today. But we're going to change the deck for that. Okay, we're going to ask Spirit, please show us what we need to know on the board today. Not to forget, we have the Hitman neighbour. He has been sent by Leather Market, by Ashleigh Burwood, on behalf. He's a Hitman neighbour. We also have Leather Market JMB. So we understand that in the past there would have been a connection. We would have collaborated with them in the past. Now we're bringing you up to speed. Now the roles are there. We have the Hitman neighbour, Leather Market, Ashleigh Burwood, and Simon Howard. Also, Mr. Simon Howard also. So now these individuals, we understand that we have this karmic connection with from an ancient past. So this gives us an understanding, but they also represent the part of there are other individuals who are part of the program, but these would have been the main four individuals. If you count Leather Market as one, as a collective, if you just count them as a collective, they represent that one. And then also these individuals would have different roles. They would have played different roles within this program. So we're going to ask Spirit anything that we need to know from the current situation. Thank you, Spirit. We're just asking the question, Ace of Cups. So this means, this is like joy, having, receiving joy, receiving joy, this healing. The Ace of Cups is one of the best cards in the entire tarot. That is the emotional fulfillment. That is essentially love. That is, you're receiving love. So you have emotional fulfillment on the way. You're healing. You're healing. You're going to be you're on the road to healing. Emotionally, and this is something that Spirit has seen you go through this. I've seen you defend yourself against. I've seen you stand. I've seen you stand and continue to stand your ground against this program without much knowledge of what is going on, without much synopsis about this. So Spirit, I've seen you, and now Spirit is giving you tidbits of information, and by that I mean like a lot of information. Like they're giving you a lot. Like they're giving you pages and pages and pages and pages of information, even explaining to you who these people are, why they've done these things to you. And this is giving you a healing, because Spirit is saying, we've seen you stand tall, we've seen you standing, and now we're going to give you emotional fulfillment by way of this cup. We're giving you this cup, that's going to give you emotional fulfillment. So that is absolutely wonderful. So Spirit have seen you defending yourself, standing your ground. They've seen that you've been wounded. They've seen that you've been wounded. You've carried these wounds, and now Spirit is going to be there to give you this healing, this emotional healing. The Ace of Cups is one of the best. Is one of the best cards of the deck. It's one of the best, because it's that emotional well-being. Emotional well-being. Okay. So we're gonna ask Spirit again now. What is we have this Ace of Cups. Spirit has seen you collective. They've seen you go through this, and then now this situation, this ordeal is closing. Is closing, and because of that, you're being rewarded with this cup, this Ace. Thank you very much, Spirit. We're going to ask the cards to show us what they would like us to see with regards to the situation, with regards to the individuals. Also, if anything that that we can, anything that we can, any information that we can get, this information, we want to know. Just first, we're gonna ask, to show us a card about the current situation. So now you're in this feeling of well-being. The information, what you're going through, your current situation is now you're in this Ace. You're already inhabiting your feeling, your emotional feeling. You're already inhabiting it. It's like you're the in-between phase. from, being in this, going through a lot of stuff, but then now is those, this ordeal being closed and then moving to a new phase, because that the ace is also the beginning. So spirit wants you to know that you're heading towards a new beginning of emotional fulfillment, emotional well-being, just completely going the opposite. Whatever this ordeal was, this was more of a, of challenges, right? Challenges. Now we're moving past the challenges into a degree of spirit. I've seen you stand in your ground, and you no longer, I've seen you you have battled, and now you're going to be rewarded by spirit. Emotionally, you're going to be rewarded emotionally, and then that is going to be that is going to be your healing. Your healing is going to, it's going to be your healing. So now spirit is offering you this ace, a new start to emotional well-being, guys. You start to a new emotional well-being, followed on by, we have the Queen of Swords. So this Queen of Swords. So okay, so now you're transforming into this, you're transforming into this Queen of Swords, or you're transforming into this Queen of Swords. Somebody with the intellect, and also with this information behind him, receiving this information, you can now use this information as an understanding, and also now you wield this sword. You wield this sword, but also you wear this crown, because now you understand that you are part of. You understand that you're part of a monarchy. You're part of that, because we also have the Queen of Wands, and they spoke about in the ancient past that you were this Queen of Wands, the Queen of Wands, that can also be someone that uses the dark arts, and then now so now you have that aspect, but now you also have this aspect of information, of knowledge, of intellect. Now you also have this intellect that you now, as you're transforming from this wounded warrior, you're transforming into this this queen of swords. Take it as you like, because this is also your king of swords. So you're now this maturity now. You have this maturity now, this maturity of the mind now, of knowing. You have this knowledge now. It's a part of you now. So this is an experience that is now a part of you. And now spirit is right behind you. As you can see also here, this is like your transformation. This is also your transformation. You've transformed, because now you wield this sword. Wonderful. We're going to Okay, anything else you'd like from spirit to let us know? But also that speaks about the Queen of Swords. Also speaks about, you know, in regards to, you know, the individuals in the program. This also now speaks about, you know, you being this ice queen, or you being, you know, this normally they speak, you know, ruling from the head, you know, ruling, you know, mind, using your mind over these matters, you know, over these matters of even the spiritual sense, or you know, using your mind, because your mind has now collected the information. So now you understand where these people are coming from. You understand. So now this gives you a sense of this balance. This gives you this balance that, oh, so now you have this balance because now you know. So as you can see, he's balancing there now. He's balancing. You know, he's standing his ground. He's balancing, and then he finds out why these wands are being directed at him. He sees that and he understands. So now he turns into this monarchy with the sword, because he transforms. Because now now this situation is understood. So he's transformed. He's transformed, so he can calculate. He can calculate, and he's analysing. He can analyse people. He can analyse people's actions, because he understands what they, you know. He can now understand these people. So, you know, he's calculating, but then he also says, I have this sword. This sword represents the mind. This sword represents the mind. This sword represents information. This sword represents truth. It represents truth. So we're going to follow on what else we'd like to say, because that's extremely, you know, it's extremely telling, because now you have, you know, having two queens here, two monarchs from two different suits. It also represents that you are that person. You are. You're royalty. You're royalty. This means collective. You're royalty. You once were, and now you once were, and you are. Because this is the past. This is the ancient past. This is what they said that you were when you were doing this. They said that you were part of a royalty, a royal bloodline. You were part of this royal bloodline. You know, the tribe, you know, the part of the tribe, the lion. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You were part of this tribe. Following on into the present, now you're this Queen of Swords. You're this lawmaker. You know, you fight for the law. You fight for justice. You know, you have this information here. So you've transformed in the present time into this other aspect of the monarch. So that means you are also this, you know, you have this, you know, you're this aspect. So that's another way that his spirit is telling you that you once were, You once were and you are. So this is your bloodline. This speaks about your bloodline, your spiritual bloodline, your spiritual inheritance. Your spiritual inheritance is royalty, divine royalty, the divine royalty from God. This is what is the message. Is that now this is your spiritually raising from being a persecuted target, and finding out why you were targeted is because you were this pillar in the ancient times. It was part of a royal family, and then now this is information is that it's part of your bloodline because it's part of your spirit. It's part of your spirit, and it's part of you. It's who you are, collective. One more card. Thank you, Spirit. So you're part of, you're part of a monarchy. Get one more card. Then we also have the Knight of Wands. So you're part of this monarchy, and now you're transforming. You're transforming, like almost. This has transformed you, like extremely. This has transformed you, also, spiritually evolved you. Like spiritually, it has evolved you. But also, this speaks about, you have this ace that is being, that has a message to it. It has a message, as a banner attached to this Ace of Wands. There's a banner attached to it. So this is also speaking about something that transforms, that transforms spiritually. Like this speaks about something that has belonged to you. Because remember, you gotta think of it this way. Think of it that you're that Queen of Wands, right? You're this Queen of Wands, and she has this wand here. And throughout these battles, let's say that they lost, they didn't have the access to these wands, because they've always been fighting. But then this looks like somebody is, a knight is, bringing some information to you, a gift. It's like it's a gift, something that has something written on there, so it's like a message. It's also like a message. It's also like a spiritual message. There's so many. If you count how many wand cards there are here, this speaks about this speaks about a message, and also speaks about some vitality, because this is an Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is the highest. It's the closest. It's the highest wand. It's the first wand, basically, because all the other wands are made from that one wand. All the other wands are made from the Ace, the Ace of Wands. All the other suits. It's always the first one, the Ace, and this Ace. It's traveling towards you. But we're going to ask, but also Spirit, traditionally also, this speaks about, you're a king now. You're a king now, and, or you're a king now. Or this is Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords rather. So now she has this intellect, and she says, you may only you speak only to your people on your station almost. So she's the Queen of Swords is very standoffish. She's very standoffish. She's very reserved. More of the intellect, rather. More of the intellect. Not really that emotional. Not really that flamboyant. Not really that flamboyant, but more of that intellectual person, the intellect person. So this also speaks about using your intellect when communicating with somebody who is out there, or someone who's more flamboyant. So this speaks about you using your mind, and being more reserved, emotionally, because she's known as the Ice Queen. So this also speaks about that, but make no mistake, this is still the I have this truth. And the sword cuts through. So she's in that stance. So that speaks about our mind using being because this is more of a flamboyant character, and she's very standoffish. She's really only. People probably don't even feel like she has any friends. She probably doesn't even have that many friends. But of course, she's a monarch, so she has people around her, but she doesn't really have friends of such, except her, King of Swords. Indeed. So we're gonna ask more questions. So could you please tell us who this knight is? Let's find out who this knight is. This knight could be a Queen of Coins. This knight could be a Queen of Coins. So right off the bat, that speaks about Ashleigh Burwood could be contacting. That speaks about somebody within the fort. That speaks about the Queen of Coins is the Queen of Pentacles. So that speaks about that could speak also about the earth, the past, the path, that could speak about this karmic. That could speak about the karmic. The karmic could be this Knight of Wands. There could be this Knight of Wands, and Spirit is letting you know, telling you, stand your ground against this person. Stand your ground. You know who you are. You know who you are now. You know who you are. So you know who you are. So stand your ground. Stand your ground, and against this person is always your intellect. Your intellect is is what you wield this sword. You have this truth. So now they're going to say, Spirit's going to say, you have this sword. You have the you've transformed, and you have this sword. You have the truth. So you could be receiving a message from from a Knight of Wands who has this message, but what Spirit is also saying to you is that this person is wearing a mask, and they're wearing a mask, or they're wearing a mask because you can see that even their horse is masked. That's right, even their horse is masked. So this speaks about, you know, deception. You know, this speaks about, you know, a sleight of the hand. You know, a sleight of the hand magician. You know, a sleight of the hand magician tricks. So this person is you know, they have this wand, right? They have this wand which has a message, a banner message attached to it. So this speaks about, you know, this speaks about something, you know, some information. Now, is this information like, you know, because this information, because the suit that they're wearing, you know, this speaks about that there's a lot of you know, there could be deception here. There could be deception here because you know, in this particular deck, he's slightly more mature than in the Rider-Waite. In the Rider-Waite, you know, it's just a way that Spirit will let you select the card. It's like this Rider-Waite illustration, or this one from the Rider-Waite, they're slightly different in appearance. So this kind of tells you that there's something deceptive about this particular Knight of Wands. And you know, we clarified this Knight of Wands with this Queen of Pentacles. You know, this Queen of Pentacles. So this speaks about, you know, being standoffish, you know, or being mindful, your mind, you know, using your mind and not, you know, not your, you know, the Knight of, you know, the Knight, I mean the Queen of Swords, when the Knight approaches, she has the truth and she has spirit. So if you see that her eyes she doesn't take her eyes away, she's composed, and she realizes, she knows who he is behind the mask. She knows who he is behind the mask. She knows who he is behind the mask. And you see, she knows who he is behind the mask. She knows who this individual is. So she is already, she's poised and she's composed, and she understands that, you know, she knows who he is. You know, this is somebody that has been involved in the program, who's been extremely deceptive, and you know, you know, people that are involved in this program, they operate in reverse. When they operate in reverse. In other words, they you know, the things that they say is always half truth. You can never say they kind of don't let you see them say that they're lying. It's not an outright lie, but they give you a half truth. So what they say is always out of the context is slightly off. So their context is slightly off. So there's a motive behind it. The motive is not clear. The motive is hidden. They hide this motive. So spirit is telling you that you know the truth. You know who they are. So you know who they are, who they've shown themselves to be, and also you found out that who they were in the past, which they didn't tell you about. You know who they were in ancient times. The spirit saying, you rule the truth. You rule the truth now. You know who they were and who they are. That's the sword of truth. She has that sword of truth. So she has the higher ground. She has the higher ground. You collective, you have the higher ground because you have the truth. The truth always stands tall. The truth always prevails. The truth is the truth. And this is something that you have, which people in the program have not exercised is the truth, because you had to uncover this truth. This truth was hidden from you. You had to dig deep, go into the ancient past and find out that you were once royalty and you were once the subject. You were once the perpetrator. Historically. And in this lifetime, this is something that you just found out. So you just found out, but you had to dig for the information. You had to dig. And while you were digging, you were standing your ground. Because people were still attacking you, knowing why they were attacking you. But you didn't know. You just had this wand, and you just have to defend yourself. So you were balancing finding information and defending yourself. You were defending yourself and wondering, asking the questions, why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? While you are defending yourself, but then now you have the information. So now you transform into this Queen of Swords. You've transformed into the Queen of Swords collective. You have transformed. You've gone through a transformation, a metamorphosis. Collective. 118. Okay. What we're going to do now? We're going to. Okay. So this would appear that you have the Queen of Coins is masked. Is the masked Knight of Wands. Is the masked Knight of Wands, who has actually been unmasked. He has actually been unmasked because he's actually been unmasked. So we know who he is. That's a message from Spirit. You know who they are. You know who they are, and your standing is you stand on your information and what you know, and also to stand your ground. To stand your ground. That is from Spirit. Stand your ground. Your happiness, your life is moving on. You have this Ace of Cups that that is being brought to you. So stand your ground, and stand your ground, and you know who this person is, and you're analyzing their words, and you're not taking, you're looking at them. You're looking at them. You're looking at their eyes, and you're watching them. You're watching their reactions, because this night of words is a sleight of a hand trick. What's the word? Trickster. So they're known as a trickster. So you kind of they're veiled to cause harm. This wand is being used as a weapon. It's being used as a weapon, and it's veiled, and he's flamboyantly dressed. So he's kind of saying, okay, I want you to look at what I'm wearing, but I want you to not look at this part of the information too much. This is the kind of approach, like the kind of stance that they have. But you can see this Queen of Wands, this Queen of Swords rather. She has this sword. She has this sword. She's not. And her eyes are. She's analytical, and she's analysed this situation from distance. From a distance, she analyses the situation from a distance. So that would be all, folks. That would be all collective. I believe the phone is still go. The phone is still go. That would be all. That would be all collective. We're going to call that reading right there. So you're now this Queen of Wands. You're now part of royalty. You have uncovered that you once were royalty, and now you are royalty. You are this monarch. So God bless and love you all.